I'm Chelsea Zepeda, and I'm 17 years old. 2 years ago when I was 15, me and a couple people from my school went on a missions trip to the Philippines. It was my first experience really far away from home without anyone from my family going. I wasn't really super nervous when I left, but once I got there, it was such a new experience, and I remember the plane ride being so long. I decided that I was going to keep a journal of everything that happened throughout the entire time that I was there, and I was going to stay there for 5 weeks. So every single day I would write down all the events that happened to me that day or what stuck out to me in the day. And I remember the first week that we were there, it was really hard for me because it was just so new, and I don't know, I wasn't used to being all the time with the same people. I missed my family, and on the 10th day, we were worshiping in one of the chapel services, and Pastor Amy was praying for people, and she came up and she was praying for everybody in the service who was worshiping while we were worshiping. And when she would come up to people, she was going like this and sweeping her hand, and they were falling in the presence of the Lord. And she was making her way towards me, and I knew that she was gonna come pray for me. And I wanted to feel Jesus like that, but I never had felt anything like that before. I'd never fallen like that or anything. I just didn't think I was going to. But when she came, she started to pray for me. And I remember just being like this, asking for the Lord to just open my heart. And she was praying for me, and all of a sudden she went like this, and I just fell over in the presence of Jesus. And when I fell over, I don't really remember anything after that. All I remember is I fell asleep, and I went to heaven with Jesus. And when I was in heaven, it's distant things that I remember, little pieces of it, but he showed me a ton of different things. I saw Jesus sitting by a tree, and he was underneath a big tree, one of those kind of trees, and it was by a river, and he was sitting there looking at a river, and in his hand he was holding a journal. The journal was old and torn up. And so I went over to sit by him. And I asked him what the journal was. And when I asked, he opened the pages and he showed me. He flipped through all the pages of the book. And on every single page it said, "I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you," over and over and over and over again. And I was like, "What's this? What does this mean?" And he was like, "Every time that I wanted you to spend time with me and you didn't, or I just wanted to talk to you, or you just kind of didn't make time, I would write 'I love you' in this book." And I started to cry, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so, so sorry." And he was like, "No, but it's okay, because I forgive you and I still love you so much." That was the end of that experience, but afterwards it was just so amazing to hear it from Jesus that no matter how many times we don't make time with him, or we don't because he created us, it made me think, why would we not spend time with him? Because he just created us so that we could be with him in his presence. To think that after all that time that I just pushed away or didn't make time, that he still loved me the exact same, and he still wanted me to. The busyness of the world was getting in the way, but just to make time for our Savior and the one who loves us the most.